You know, back in the day, I always used to wonder what the machine that my favorite YouTubers were playing their games on. I always used to imagine having a computer like theirs, being able to play all these games at higher refresh rates than the console, being able to record and edit everything. And I finally have one. And honestly, I never really saw videos of people explaining their setup. They might mention it in a video or something, but they never explained where it came from, because a lot of people just buy a computer off a website, buy a pre-built, but I didn't do that. And I've mentioned my parts in the past, and to be honest, they're kind of controversial. A lot of people think that the parts I have in my PC are trashy and not that good, and I just wanted to explain my PC a little bit, let you guys know what hardware I'm rocking, what I'm using to play these games, because I used to always wonder what my favorite YouTubers were rocking, so maybe you guys might wonder what I'm using in my machine. So I'm just gonna start this off by saying, love your machines, man. If you have a console or you have a PC and it works for you and you enjoy playing it, don't upgrade it. Don't stress about getting the next new best thing just because other people have it. And that's just something that I wish I knew a little bit sooner, because I always wanted that next new upgrade on my PC and everything, and honestly, you don't need it. If you have something and you enjoy it, then just enjoy it. But onto my PC. I actually built it myself a little bit over 2 years ago. I never wanted a pre-built. I took a class in high school about building PCs and everything, a computer science class, and I loved it. I loved building the PC. Each student in the class got a crappy old HP school OEM desktop that they got to put together, and at the end of the class, the teacher took them apart and gave them to the next students in the next class. But it was so much fun being able to put together a computer, install the operating system, and after that class, I always wanted to do it. Back in the day, I always had a dream of playing PC games, but I always thought it was out of reach. It was so expensive, and I never imagined even building my own. I always thought about just buying a new PC, but after taking that class, I knew I had to build my own PC, and so I started saving, and it took me a while to save. I saved for a few months, but one day I got that stimulus check, and I was able to take a couple hundred out of it and use that towards the computer. It finished off my saving, and I was actually able to use the rest of my stimulus to pay off my car, so I got my PC and I got my car. Now, I did something that I myself don't advocate, and I think a lot of PC builders don't advocate for, and that is I bought my parts over a 6-month period. When I got the money for a new part, I bought a new part. I bought all the parts in the middle of the shortage and all of the crazy prices, and I bought a 1050 Ti for I think $350 or $400. It was just insane. It wasn't the best PC. I was using a 720p TV as a monitor. I had a crappy mouse and a crappy little off-brand $60 mechanical keyboard, but I honestly loved it. It was better than any console could be. I played all of my favorite games. I had an i5 10400F and 16 gigs of RAM, so that part was actually great. I still have that i5 in my machine, and it runs everything like a beast. That's really all I need right now. As I said, it wasn't a beast, but it was all I needed, and I slowly upgraded it. Eventually, I got a 1080p monitor that was 144 hertz. It was a great deal. It was an Asus for only $100. It was a 27-inch. It's great. I got that, and it was a big upgrade. And actually, for Christmas, I just wanted some computer parts, and I ended up getting another 2 sticks of RAM, 16 gigs, and a new M.2. I only had 2 SATAs in my machine at the time, so it was great throwing another M.2 in there, and it was great having 32 gigs of RAM. I mean, I know it is a little bit of overkill, but it really helps in video editing, and I play a lot of, city simulator game kind of things, like Kenshi. It really benefits with that 32 gigs of RAM, or City Skylines. Some games today do need a little bit more than 16 gigs, and that 32 gigs gets you there, and as I said, that video editing, it really helps. Eventually, the 1050 Ti just wasn't doing it for me, and I wanted a new GPU. And I was looking around, and 3060s were still $700, 3080s were $1,000, however much. But when I heard that the 3050 was dropping for, I think it was 250 bucks, I thought that was a really good deal upgrading from my 1050 Ti. So I started looking into it, and I was actually able to get one a couple weeks after it released for only around $300, which was cheaper than I got a 1050 Ti for, and it was an RTX card. In my mind, it was a no-brainer. I mean, 3060s, 3070s, they were all still crazy. Even the 20 series cards were insane. And in my mind, at the time, I wanted ray tracing. And I know now I could have gotten a 1070 or a 1080 and it would probably be a better card, but I still love my 3050, and I've got to say, it runs so well compared to what people say about it. And I will admit, a couple weeks after I bought it, things started getting cheaper, and within a month of me buying it, 3060s were about $400. So do I regret my purchase? Yes, honestly, I do regret it a little bit. Do I dislike my card? No, not at all. I mean, it has 8 gigs of VRAM. I know that doesn't matter a lot, but it's got a good amount of VRAM. It runs games pretty well. I can play Cyberpunk at around 75 frames without ray tracing. With ray tracing, it's about a 50 to 60 frame even for me. And people might go, no way, but I'll show you my benchmarks. Sure, it drops down to 45, 35 in really busy areas, but as long as you know how to configure your games right, this card can be everything that you need, honestly. I play every new game that comes out. I mean, Dead Island 2 has an even 80 frames for me. Red Dead Redemption 2. I saw something that said Red Dead Redemption 2 on ultra settings can only get you 21 frames or something on a 3050. I play on high to ultra and I get about 70 frames, 65, 70 frames, around there. So I have no clue what a lot of people are talking about. It's really, I feel like they look at the CPU benchmark and they go, whoa, 3050, that's a bad card. But in reality, they haven't used it. There's not enough info and benchmarking on this card. I might have just gotten a great one, but really it's the machine I need, and it's the only machine I want. Sure, I've been looking to upgrade. I'm a kind of a weirdo. I've been looking into the Intel Arc cards. I love that they're so cheap for such a strong card, but I just want to wait for some of the drivers to be updated and a lot of the optimization to get a little bit better on those cards. But once that happens, I might have to cop one of those. Honestly, that's all I want to say in this video. It's a bit longer than I expected. I just want to let you know what's in my PC. So I'll just list off everything I have in my PC as a little recap. My CPU is an i5-10400F that gets up to 4 gigahertz sometimes, so gotta love it. I have 32 gigs of DDR4 RAM. I think the speed is 3200 megahertz. I could be wrong though. But I have a 3050 desktop and I love it. I have an Asus monitor and an HP monitor and another TV with a little tri-monitor setup going for me. And I also love that because I'm able to watch TV, play video games. The card can do that. The card can manage that. I play games, I watch TV at the same time. Some games that aren't too crazily demanding, I'm able to record, play games, and watch TV at the same time. I'm a bit of a multitasker. I like doing a bunch of things at once. I have a whole weird plethora of storage, you know, 2 SATA SSDs, I have a SATA hard drive, I have 2 SATA hard drives, one of them out of an Apple MacBook. I have 2 M.2s, so, you know, a lot of storage, very nice. I've got a quaint little EVGA 500 watt power supply that I have been thinking about replacing. It's a little low wattage. My computer doesn't ever use that much power, so it seems to be doing great. And my case is just a generic old black case with a little bit of RGB fans inside, and yeah, that's my PC. Nothing crazy. I spent a lot more money on it than it's worth now, but in my heart, it's worth every penny. I love it, and I would not replace it for anything. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about my PC. Little thing about me that probably no one knows is I love tech stuff. So if you enjoyed this, enjoyed hearing me talk about my tech stuff, I can make a couple more tech videos if you guys want to know, you know, a little bit more about my PC, or maybe, you know, I have a Steam Deck, I have an Oculus. If you want to hear me talk about those, definitely let me know in the comments below. If you want to hate on my 3050, you can go ahead and drop that in the comments below. I don't really care. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, definitely like and subscribe to stay up to date with all my new gaming videos. As I said, this is a bit of a different video. If you enjoy music, definitely go check out BillyTheWhip.com or just Billy the Whip on any music platform to hear some awesome new jams that you've probably never heard before. And yeah, that's about it. If you stayed this long, gotta say it. Have a great day and enjoy and love your machines.